Cleveland, it looks like you've been pretty busy on the marketplace. The roster has been overhauled and boasts a sexy sheen of compliments for King James. There's only one problem. You are taking on a lot of money for the future. It's unfortunate I didn't get to you earlier because what you needed at the deadline was honey. As a free browser extension, it's as sweet as the food itself. Honey works like a bee. It diligently scours the web for every coupon available for use. When you are ready to check out, Honey will actively use these codes to help you maximize your savings. I started using this app a few days ago and am impressed at how hands-free it is. I purchased a new task chair among other things, and Honey helped me get the best price. It even saved me a few bucks too. It's looking to be a part of my online shopping arsenal for the future, I must admit. Get started with the savings by clicking the link in the description or by rushing over to joinhoney.com/utree. Over $325 million in savings last year can attest. Honey can do the saving for you. You're gonna fuck this all up, aren't you? You're going to take a championship contender and gut it to the 7th circle of Dante's hell. The Cleveland Cavaliers are a team that I have been watching since last summer. The pieces were in place for a total collapse. One that would allow a team full of egos to become the next great shit show in the NBA. We are not even a year into my scouting and it is already starting to happen. I didn't think this would happen until the summer, but things moved very quickly in the sports world. Let's go back a few years to when the Cavs were at the height of their power. LeBron stunningly announced that he was coming home. They had made the finals 2 times in a row, but were about to lose in heartbreaking fashion again. Then a miracle happened. Cleveland overcame a 3-1 deficit against the Warriors. They had won. Do you understand the magnitude of what had happened? The city of Cleveland had finally been freed from the clutches of misery. They broke the curse. No longer would they rely on the Browns being one of the most incompetent organizations in football. No longer would they see the Indians constantly choke away most Octobers. Northeast Ohio had a champion to call their own again. The outpouring of support was one of the most beautiful things to witness. Hell, even the Browns were trying to latch onto it. Cleveland finally had hope in sports again. Nowadays, though, it almost seems to have been nothing more than a lucid dream. Fast forward another year where the Cavs were bitch-slapped to reality in the NBA Finals against the Warriors yet again. Things needed to be done this offseason. Cleveland needs more reinforcement. This is going to be the all-in year. LeBron isn't getting any younger and is content with playing things out year to year instead of locking in a long-term deal. Who knows when he chooses to pull the plug? The Cavaliers live and die by this man. Through thick and thin, the organization has fused together with one name: LeBron. A man who merely returned to Cleveland out of childhood ambition. A man whose hubris stretches the entire length of Ohio. A man who took all of the goodwill he built up in his home city during his career and pissed on it by announcing his free agency decision on fucking national television. Dealing with LeBron is a two-headed monster. He is the guy that is carrying Cleveland to relevance. He is also the main catalyst that is killing the franchise. Remember what I said about LeBron and his massive ego? It extends throughout the organization. There's LeBron, the de facto head coach, in which the organization installs a puppet not unlike the head of Manchuria during the Japanese Empire. Everything on the court goes through LeBron. A head coach cannot make a true mark wherever he is because, let's face it, LeBron is the show. Nothing can outshine him. When a coach gets in his way and wants to make a difference, he will be unpersoned. There will be neither quarter nor mercy for those that defy the great LeBron. If Tyronn Lue tries any funny business that keeps the ball away from LeBron, it will surely be off with his head. Thus leads us to LeBron the GM. The influence of King James is also felt off the court as well. Have you ever wondered why James Jones had a job in the NBA for years despite having no qualifications to be on the court? Well, it's because he was buddy-buddy with LeBron. Most positions on the Cavaliers don't have anything to do with scheme fit or athleticism or even cost control. It has to do with whether or not LeBron likes them. Guys that would be better off walking, like Iman Shumpert, Tristan Thompson, and J.R. Smith, are re-signed for far too much money because of the will of LeBron. If you're a guy like Dion Waiters who hogs the ball too much for LeBron's liking, you can be exiled to Oklahoma City. The future of the Cavs does not matter. What matters is now. LeBron wants pieces to help him. They have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, but Cleveland needs more. Paul George and Eric Bledsoe are the pieces they look for. They are outstanding players who will help the Cavs to another championship. Only problem was that those traits never actually materialized. Paul George was sent off to the Thunder for their all-in run. Eric Bledsoe, even after being pissed off enough to defect from the Suns, was traded to Milwaukee. LeBron was absolutely furious at this revelation. The Cavs had failed him. What they did get, however, were a wave of old men. They brought in crystallized fossil Dwayne Wade to appease LeBron's friend quota. The geriatric depth continued as they recruited Jose Calderon and Jeff Green. And the piece de resistance. D-Rose? Oh no, he got injured again. Who could have seen this coming? But it's not a big deal, you say. The core is still intact. Kyrie Irving will be in Cleveland for a long time too. Nope. He's demanding a trade because he wants to be the guy instead of LeBron's shadow. Yet. Well, at least we can get some sort of value for him. Kyrie will be sent to Boston for some nice pieces in Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, and Billy King's first-round pick in 2018. Isaiah Thomas had hip surgery in the offseason. They're gonna need more convincing, Celtics. By God, EA Sports games mirror real life more than I can imagine. Even if the offseason was a disaster by Cleveland standards, they should be all but a shoo-in for Eastern Conference champion. The good news is that they succeeded in this endeavor. The bad news is that it's in the drama department. Incredible clashes of egos and personalities are in such a full display this year that they've usurped the goddamn Knicks as the biggest shit show in the conference. The situation in the locker room has gotten so toxic that it's affecting the play on the court. The Cavaliers have gone on several notable slides this season and no end seems to be in sight. The team resembled what they signed in the offseason. Incredibly old. Nobody plays defense. Literally nobody. When this issue isn't solely due to J.R. Smith, there is a massive problem. This team is too good for any sort of defensive responsibility. They can just sit and watch as LeBron bails out this godforsaken squad with his talent. It doesn't matter that the Cavs have one of the highest payrolls in the NBA and are paying a hefty luxury tax. The land isn't good enough to be defended. What has also fallen short are the trade returns for Kyrie. Jay Crowder went from promising swingman to a total liability on the court. Ante Dzidzic has barely seen the court for the Cavs. Isaiah Thomas, however, was supposed to be the piece. He looks to be a guy that hasn't fully recovered from hip surgery. He's not getting the rock like he was last year. He looks to be a shell of what he was in Boston. Even then, he's a terrible fit on the squad, a leader on a team that didn't need one. Who knows if this is his real form moving forward, but even he has criticized the team for giving zero fucks on the court. Funny how he criticizes team defense when he's one of the worst defensive guards in the league. Let's see how Kyrie is doing in Boston. Fuck. It is official, LeBron has seen enough. This team is ripe with old man stink and failure. A great purge is the only option to deal with these demons. Iman Shumpert and Channing Frye are old stalwarts of the Cavs that are useless and told they would be traded. Several weeks have passed, they are still on the Cavs. Maybe it's because of those awful contracts that LeBron forced the team to sign them to, I don't know. Finally, some gullible takers. Chuck Channing's ass to the Lakers as a throw-in. Shumpert can go to that glorious shit show in Sacramento. We just have to take on George Hill's ridiculous contract as a result. Maybe he won't be lazier than a sloth here. D-Wade is too goddamn old for our tastes as well. Send him to his retirement home in Miami. D-Rose, get banished to Mormon country, you gimp. Jay Crowder, you are nothing but a scrubby bum. You can be exiled to Utah as well. And Isaiah. Oh, what plans we have for Isaiah. We find your comments to be deliciously ironic. You get a one-way ticket to join Magic in Lakerland. We just had to take on another bad contract in Jordan Clarkson. Goddamn midgets. This year is supposed to be the big hurrah, the proving that their championship wasn't just a fluke. The Cavs were here to stay. As a result of LeBron's hubris, things may have gotten significantly worse over the past year. Even crazier, this has the potential to get worse. LeBron, king of the ego, has a chance to opt out and escape this shit show with a golden parachute in the offseason. Signs are pointing to him being interested in potential suitors like the Lakers, and he could very well sink Cleveland hopes and dreams into Lake Erie again. The Cavaliers have gone on hand and foot to please LeBron and shower him with everything he wants. Despite it, this may not be enough to prevent the inevitable. If LeBron leaves, the Cavaliers are absolutely fucked. They already have $95 million of next season's payroll invested in Kyle Korver, Kevin Love, George Hill, J.R. Smith, Jordan Clarkson, and Tristan Thompson. If LeBron chooses to kick the can and stay, they're tens of millions of dollars over the cap and the land is hemorrhaging money. And new acquisition Rodney Hood is going to want a pay raise. Plus 4 more players. Even with the first-round pick gifted by Billy King to the Celtics all those years ago, the nuclear fallout from this situation could last for years. This whole situation couldn't have happened to a more deserving owner. Dan Gilbert is one of the biggest pieces of shit in the NBA today, the epitome of the Napoleon complex. This is a man whose hubris and ego rivals that of LeBron's. The two merely coexist because Dan knows that he is nothing without King James. Remember the time when he wrote a completely passive-aggressive letter calling out LeBron for the decision all those years back? This is the kind of guy Cleveland is dealing with. A man who lowballed GM David Griffin to the point where he just picked up his belongings and fled off to unemployment. Talk about loyalty, eh? Or can we point to the time when he nearly brought in a completely unqualified Chauncey Billups to become president of basketball operations? Only for Billups to back down from consideration thanks to an insulting offer made by Gilbert. Kobe Altman is now the GM that is going to be holding all of the shit at the end of the day. A part of me feels for this man. He's getting yelled at by Dan Gilbert for being well over the cap line, forcing the team into the red thanks to the luxury tax. He's getting yelled at by LeBron because he's not doing enough to get the stars to satiate his ego. He's going to be yelled at by the fans who don't know any better if the team falls into total disarray in the near future. LeBron can leave with no damage. Dan Gilbert might be looking to sell the team so he can leave with no damage. Somebody has to pay the bill. It will most likely be Altman. The Cavaliers are turning back into the burning Cuyahoga once again. The only difference is that they have a shiny trophy to clutch onto as the flames consume them. Let me get some marshmallows. I want to roast them on this fire.
He gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won. Jordan beat him at the buzzer with a jump shot in the circle, and Chicago has knocked off the